welcome back. Long time no see. Yeah, so in the last live we were exploring Kingston Avenue and Eastern Parkway. A lot of people finishing up the night prayers and singing and stuff. And now we're just getting ready for the new prayers of the new day. There's a lot of different prayers today. Today is called Hosana Rabba, the Great Salvation, which is the last day of the Hebrew holiday called Sukkot, which is the holiday of joy. Right now I'm just walking around Eastern Parkway on the way to some new synagogue. And so essentially this holiday, Hosana Rabbah, is the last of, or it's not really the last, it's the last of one of the main sections of a larger number of Jewish holidays that center around the Jewish New Year. Essentially 21 days ago was the Jewish New Year, the Jew Year as they call it, which is 5,785 years since the creation of the universe from absolutely nothing. Technically, the Jewish New Year counts from the creation of the first man. But the first man was only created about 6 days after the universe was created. So it's really not that long. And each of those days was only 24 hours. So that's pretty much nothing. So essentially, every Jewish New Year, the evening before that New Year, it says all of the energy of the entire universe goes up to its source. The source of that energy is in the Atzmus, in the essence of the Creator. Essentially, when the Creator first made the universe, he had this infinite light that he had to hide, and then he made a finite light from that, and then basically he created the universe with this light, divine energy. But then the original creation, gotta get out of the way of these cars. But even the original creation of the universe from nothing, that itself was only for 1 year at a time, according to the deeper meanings. Literally, the Creator made the entire universe from nothing with this light, but that light literally only lasted for 1 year. And every year after creation, on the Jewish New Year, then it says that light that the Creator used to create the world is hidden the evening before. This is in the Kabbalistic and Hasidic philosophical commentaries that sources could be sent if you want. But essentially the light that the Creator used to create the world, every evening before the Jewish New Year, that light goes up back to the source of the light. And it's removed, so to speak, and hidden from the world. And only the external shell of the light remains, which is why the universe itself still exists, but all the internal energy of the world, which means essentially the desire that the Creator has to continue creating the world, essentially, then that desire is, so to speak, hidden from the world. And that happens the evening before Rosh Hashanah, the evening before the Jewish New Year. But then, through the Jewish prayers that happen on the Rosh Hashanah daytime, after that, on the Jewish New Year, and through this certain ritual where the Jewish people blow this shofar blast, like this ram's horn, then that essentially creates an entirely new light from the Atzmus, from the essence of the Creator, to give blessings for the entire coming year, essentially. So basically, that light that's created at the beginning, so that the Jewish people create during the Jewish New Year, it's like the energy for the entire year, which essentially means the desire the Creator has to continue ruling over the world. And the main desire the Creator has for creating the world, it says in the Midrash that the Creator made the world because he wanted to have a dwelling place in the lowest realm. Before the world was created, there was just the Creator, and it was just like, but then he wanted to just the Creator alone. But the Creator wanted to not only make spiritual worlds where angels could hang out and stuff, but he wanted to make a physical world, which is the lowest level of concealment, in order that people could recognize the Creator even in that concealment. And specifically, when the Jewish people, and when people also in general, do the commandments, called the mitzvot of the Torah, then that reveals the Creator into this world. That's what the Creator wants. That's why the Creator made the world. The Creator made the world, which is like a place of concealment, in order that the Creator could be revealed in the concealment, and we have also a partnership with the Creator to help the Creator reveal Himself through the actions that we do in the commandments, the Torah and Mitzvah. So essentially, that the Creator desired to be revealed into the world through the commandments, and that's why He made the world. But that desire is hidden the evening before the Jewish New Year, and through the prayers that the Jewish people do on the daytime of the Jewish New Year, that create and specifically this ram's horn blast that they blow in the synagogue, that creates a new light from the essence of the Creator, which means like the Creator wants to, that the desire the Creator has for the world is renewed. And an analogy to understand that, it says like every person has a desire for a house, for example. It's just such a desire that's rooted so deeply in their essence, they don't even know that they want it. But that's like something that every person wants. So too, like the Creator, so to speak, I mean, He's really beyond any properties, but the way that He relates to the world, He has like this desire for a dwelling place, like a house, but it's like this entire universe, and all universes are like the house, but specifically this physical universe, and that house is like the revelation of the Creator that's made through the actions of the commandments that we do, essentially. So the point is, on the Jewish New Year, which was 21 days ago, the Jewish people all over the world in synagogues, they created a new light that sustains the entire universe. But it says that on Rosh Hashanah itself, which is the only holiday where it's a new moon, where the moon is concealed, even though they made a new light, but the light that they made is still kind of hidden from this world. It's made, meaning like it's manufactured in the light factory, so to speak, in the spiritual worlds. But it's not fully revealed yet into the actual physical worlds. It's there in potential, but then in order to reveal that spiritual light that the Jewish people created during the Jewish New Year, that is through the other holidays, the other Jewish holidays that happen after the Jewish New Year that the Torah tells us to keep. But first there's Jewish New Year on the new moon. Then 10 days later, there's the day of Yom Kippur, the Day of Atonement, which in the times of the temple thousands of years ago, there used to be a priest that would do all kinds of special services in the temple. And the culmination of that was he would enter the special room that had the Ark of the Covenant with the tablets, and he would light the special incense in that room. And that incense was like a revelation of the spiritual light in a more physical form, even though incense is kind of it's physical, but it's like not really so tangible, but it's still physical. So it's like that incense that he would light in the Holy of Holies in the special room with the Ark of the Covenant, that was like already one step closer to revealing the light in the physicality of the world itself. And it said, in some places it says that the smoke that was made from the incense would actually glow with the divine light. It's like the darkness itself would be shining. So that's like the first revelation of the light in the physical world. But then the main revelation is during this holiday called Sukkot, where the Jewish people are commanded to build temporary structures called booths. Let's catch a break. Yeah, so the Jewish people are commanded to build these temporary structures called booths, or in Hebrew, Sukkot, which essentially are these little structures that have 3 walls, or 2 to 3 walls, and some leaf roofs. The main point of that, they're a structure that does not have a permanent roof. It has just like some bamboo or some palm branches as the roof, but it is not permanent roof, and it's an open roof. So that to make a long story short, or to make a short story even longer, essentially, that roof that the Jewish people would make on these booths, which happens on the holiday after Yom Kippur, that is like the physical manifestation of the spiritual light that was made on the Jewish New Year. And one of the proofs for that is because in Hebrew, every letter has a number that corresponds to it. Like the letter Aleph, the first letter of the Hebrew alphabet is 1. The letter Beis. So I have to catch my breath from watch. Nice to meet you. So the point is that in Hebrew, different letters have different numbers. First letter is 1, second letter is 2. So the point is the Hebrew name for this leaf roof that the Jewish people would make on these booths during the holiday of Sukkot is called schach, which is one of the hardest Hebrew words to say. Let's try saying it. Schach. It's pretty much impossible. But the numerical value, if you take the numbers of each of those letters and add them up, it equals 100. And 100 is related to the light that the Jewish people made on the Jewish New Year. Because on the Jewish New Year, one of the ways they made that light, one of the main ways was through blowing this shofar blast, this ram's horn. They would take an actual ram's horn and make it into like a trumpet kind of thing. And they would blow it in the synagogue. And they would blow it for a total of 100 blasts throughout the there's 2 days of the Jewish New Year, so 100 per day. So the point is that the 100 corresponds to the 100 blasts of the ram's horn that they would blow on the Jewish New Year, which was what creates the spiritual light from the Creator. And then later on the holiday of Sukkot, the holiday of booths, the Jewish people would make these temporary structures with these leaf and or bamboo-like coverings as the roof, and the Hebrew name of that roof is the same as 100. So the point is, there's a direct connection between the physical leaf roof structure and the spiritual light that was created to the ram's horn blasts on the Jewish New Year. And that essentially, according to the Kabbalistic and Hasidic philosophical commentaries, is one of the proofs for how that spiritual light of the Creator keeps on going through the other Jewish holidays. It becomes more manifested in the physical world. First, on the Jewish New Year, it's created, but it's still kind of spiritual. Then, on the Day of Atonement, in the original times of the temple, the priest would light the special incense, which would reveal the light more. And nowadays, through the Jewish people's prayers that they do, that also has a similar effect. The day of the Atonement, as it's explained. And then, on the full moon, on Sukkot, in the middle of the month, when they have this physical roof that, I don't know why I'm so out of breath. I'm kind of coughing, but whatever. My last name is Cougher, so I guess I'm coughing. I don't know, it's just like the weather in New York or something. I can usually talk better. It's like something is in my throat or something, but it's all good. The point is that on the holiday, this is like ridiculous. On the holiday of the Sukkot, then it's like that light is like in the actual physical roof that the Jewish people are sitting underneath. So that's like it represents how the physical light of the Creator is revealed, or how the spiritual light of the Creator is revealed in the physical world to bring blessings for the whole year. But the point is, Sukkot is 7-day holiday, 7-day extravaganza, which essentially is like 7 ways for how this spiritual light could come into the world. There's like 7 is very significant in the Torah and in the Kabbalistic commentaries. Essentially, there's 7 building blocks that the Creator made to make the world. Each one is like greater than the other. So that the 7 days of Sukkot represent like 7 different levels of revealing that spiritual light into the physical world. And today, right now, is the 7th day of Sukkot. So this is like the ultimate culmination of revealing that spiritual light of the Creator into the physical world. And this day, the last day of Sukkot, is called Hosana Rabba, the Great Salvation. And it's essentially associated with like a time of judgment. But the night before, just now, the Jewish people have this custom where they try to do things to sweeten the judgment, to make sure that it's only goodness happens. And because to do that, the Jewish people read this past night in 770 and throughout the world, they read the entire book of Deuteronomy, which is a really long book, 34 chapters. and it takes hours to read. So they all read it mostly. I mean, most people read it in Hebrew, which is pretty intense. And then they took a break to do some dancing because during all the 7 days, Jewish people dance a lot, as it's explained. Maybe we could talk about that. Then after the dancing, then about 1 a.m., they started to all read together the book of Psalms, the entire book of Psalms, 150 chapters. These were the praises that King David wrote with divine inspiration and divine prophecy. And they represent all the different types of praises one could ever give the Creator. And they have all kinds of powers to create, like all kinds of good blessings in the world. And it says, there's all kinds of commentaries written about like the power of the book of Psalms specifically, even if people don't even understand fully what the words are saying, or even if they don't understand at all what they're saying. But the words themselves have infinite light of the Creator that can bring lots of blessings. So when someone reads the entire book of Psalms, it's like they're reading all of the possible praises that could ever be given to the Creator, and that has all kinds of amazing spiritual effects. That's what everyone just did pretty much this past night. So that will definitely sweeten all the judgments to have only a good year. And now we're getting ready for the new set of prayers that happened today, which is like an extended morning prayer service where the Jewish people take these willow plants and then they use them to circle around um, a, like a in the synagogue. They have like this big like kind of they call it I don't even know the word for it in English. It's a bima. It's like kind of like it's a big table where they usually read the Torah on. So today people take all these willow plants and well at first they take this lulav, which is like a palm branch, which essentially during Sukkot, besides for sitting in the booths, the Jewish people also take these four different plants: palm branch, willow, um, a couple willow branches, and I forgot, and myrtle plants, and a citrus fruit, and they put them all together in one big bundle, and then they shake them, and that's also a commandment in the Torah that the Creator told us to do. But today they take they take the palm branches and other stuff, and they circle around this big table in the synagogue, a lot of different times, and say all kinds of different prayers. And then they say after that, there's like a huge amount of other prayers that they say, which is like only one time a year that they say it, and that takes a super long time to say. And afterwards, they take five willow plants and then they beat them on the ground really hard, and that represents there's like five different types of like judgment as is explained in Kabbalah. So when they take the five willow branches according to Kabbalah, they sweeten all of the different potential judgments that could happen, so that way there's no possibility for any judgment in the year, only goodness. So that's essentially the main thing that's done today. And yeah, and there's also a special festive meal that's eaten, where there's people take some bread, dip it in honey and other stuff that they eat, and that's also meant to sweeten the judgments and stuff. So yeah, there's a lot going on today. So maybe I should probably get to it, but just wanted to check in with you guys first. So anyone have any questions before we go? Someone in the comments asked, "What is your name?" My name is Yaakov, but you can call me Kobe or Osmus, which is my username. Um, okay, well, I guess that's it for now. Maybe we'll continue another time. But if anyone else has any questions before we go for now, because there's a lot to do today, so I have to get right to it. But hopefully you guys will tune in next time because there's a lot more to talk about and a lot more to show in these live streams. Where are you from? Someone asked in the comments. Where am I not from? Is the real question. I'm from the creator of the universe who created me. But I was born in this faraway country called California. It's kind of remote. No one really knows about it. But yeah, that's where I was born, if you mean from in that sense. And then I'm in New York at the moment. So yeah, pretty much. So yeah, I guess I'll see you guys later and or sooner. You came from Europe and America, someone in the comments said. Actually, no. I was born in America and I've never left America, so that's not correct. But good guess. Um, all right, so yeah, we'll do more later. Moshiach knows.